the scorecards. The 1,563 NEET candidates seeking admission to medical colleges will be scrapped after they were given grace marks for a wrong question and for time that they lost out during the examination. This is what the centre told the Supreme Court today, and the Supreme Court accepted this. The students can opt for a retest on the 23rd of June. The results will be declared on the 30th of June. This is after a massive controversy broke out after the NEET results were declared. After, as you saw there, over 1,500 students got these grace marks. Many students protested. Now, the government's decision today follows allegations of massive irregularities and unfair marking in the nationwide medical entrance exam. It's also become huge political controversy with several political parties, opposition hitting out. The Congress has said there should be a CBI probe, that there should be a Supreme Court monitored probe, and the issue also went all the way to the Supreme Court that said that this re-examination for the students who were given the grace marks should take place. So does this now satisfy the students? Many of the petitioners are now satisfied, but is this the end of the matter? And why is it that year after year we continue to see these controversies also breaking out? Well, joining us on the program, we have with us Dr. Rakesh Verma, former additional DGHS, Health Ministry, Government of India. Thank you so much, for being with us. And you can also call in with your questions, with anything that you want to comment regarding this controversy, this row over NEET. But first to you, Dr. Verma, do you think that for the moment that this, settles the entire issue, that, with this re-examination for those who got the grace marks?
See, Mr. Rawat, you must understand there is a huge examination which was conducted. India is a very vast country and several lakh of the candidates appeared for the NEET examination. Their aspirations were there for a fair selection. And out of those several lakhs, only 1,600 or some odd candidates got some unfair or fair grace marks which other fields are not proper. So for those, the Honorable Supreme Court of the country has taken a righteous step and has approved that yes, for those candidates, the examination will be reheld. Either they can remove those grace marks and be ready for being shown as selected or unselected based on the marks without the grace marks, the actual which they have got. Or they have got the option to forget the earlier examination and undergo the fresh test on 23rd of June, which is very close by, and within 7 days the results will be declared. So this seems to be a very balanced approach by the central government of India, as well as has been accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court. So in my personal opinion, I feel considering the huge number of the NEET aspirants, we should agree for this kind of a proposition which seems fairly balanced, because the dispute is narrowed down to those 1,600 odd students. Is not
all
extended.
Right. Well, we have a caller, Ramlal, calling from Mangalore. Go ahead.
Ramlal speaking. 1 minute. Madam?
Yes.
This revaluation of OMR sheets, not only for the 1,500 candidates, it should be for the 24 lakh candidates.
But sir, how can we, redo the exam for 24 lakh? And that's not what the students, what the petitioners wanted either, isn't it, Dr. Verma?
Re-evaluation, recorrection.
See, there has been no
CBI should reevaluate it, not NTA.
All right. Your point is taken. Yes, Dr. Rakesh Verma.
See, the question mark is only on those 1,600 odd students. There is no question mark on several lakhs of the students who have appeared. They have worked day and night, toiled the midnight oil, and appeared in examination, and they are satisfied with their result. All they want is a race, that nobody else should come from the side track and overtake them. It's a competitive examination. Every mark will matter. So a grace mark when being removed should be at par, a fair field, equal level field for everybody. And those who have got grace mark, their allegation or contention was that we got lesser time to appear in this examination. So they were given the grace mark. Now the grace mark is removed. So either those 1,700 students should be agreeing for the evaluation on the basis of
and even the petition was not to do with re-examination for all 24 lakh students. So we have another caller, Ranjana Subramaniam. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. As per today's decision, it is good to write only for that candidate. That is 1,563. But before that, and from the next time, it should be an online exam like JEE. So there will be no problem. So everybody will have, right, online means there will be no problem. System will take care. There is no chance for leaking the paper. There is a rumor there, but it cannot happen in online exam. So may conduct next time onwards online exam, and also NTA should improve more number of test centers, because that is another problem. And checking in the test center also the problem for the people. That's why they are angry towards any problem in NEET comes from the media. That's the reason, sir. Thank you.
See,
Right, I'll take one more caller. Just a moment, Dr. Verma. We also have Sandhya Singh calling from Delhi. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, actually, what I feel it's not just about the 1,563 students that the NTA is talking about, or the Supreme Court has given directions. But what I feel is there have been multiple, centers and many students who have lost time, but they did not have any opportunity or any idea that if they go to court or they could, approach the court. So they didn't have the avenues to approach the court. So what about those students, first thing? Second is, like, if you're giving opportunities to these students, I will not say it's an opportunity. Basically, these students would be, again, after 1 week or something, they will be again doing the exam. Then isn't it unfair for students again that they will spend less time and on that their new mark sheet sheet could be prepared or could be prepared? So my view is
all right, Sandhya, thank you so much for calling in. And Dr. Rakesh Verma, so there you can see a mixed reaction. Some saying it's a welcome decision, but also some saying it's unfair on those particular students, given how enormous this exam is. You had one caller saying that we must take it online completely to rule out all this issue regarding paper leak.
Ms. Gayatri is a vast country with vast distribution of students, rural areas to urban area, and it will be impossible to satisfy. Now, the highest court of the country, the highest authority of the country has taken a view and taken a decision. I and you and everybody should abide by the decisions of Honorable Supreme Court. We cannot defy the Honorable Supreme Court, and nobody should try to think. And in own wisdom, Supreme Court has passed a judgment, an elaborate judgment, considering the grievances of those who have approached, considering the pros and cons, and then I don't think there should be any reason of questioning the judgment or decision or the path that Supreme Court has shown, and we must abide by that.
All right. We also have another caller, Abdul Latif, calling in from Tamil Nadu. Go ahead, Abdul.
NEET is not a social justice for rural students and poor students who doesn't know what is NEET, and they are intelligent. And it's a poor, it's only a dream. Doctor is only a dream. Poor cannot become a doctor under NEET, number one. Number two, NEET has become a business. A student who has taken 160 marks in NEET is getting MBBS seats in private medical colleges. And private medical colleges increase a lot more than the government medical colleges. And thus the standard of doctors has become worse than any other doctor, those who are intelligent. Okay, therefore, NEET doesn't serve the purpose of what examination has been conducted. NEET is completely a social justice. It's a business run by private medical colleges and coaching centers, and by only richest can become a doctor. And it's impossible for a middle class and poor families, people who cannot complete the examination, but are very interested to become a doctor. For example, Tamil Nadu government those days have been conducted at the mark list. The topmost people have become doctors. The topmost will become mark list wise. I tell you, the three chief surgeons of America from India, from Tamil Nadu, have become the chief surgeons in America. They are not studied in NEET. They studied in Madras Medical College. How they are studied?
All right. Thank you so much, Abdul Latif, for your point. And yes, this is something that, we've seen, Dr. Verma, again and again. This is what all parties across, party lines from Tamil Nadu have been demanding. They say that NEET is a system that is, it's against the rural students, that there is this unfair advantage that urban students have, city students have. They've also been asking, in fact, they go as far as to ask for scrapping of NEET. They wanted to revert to what it was earlier, that each state should have its examination, saying that, Tamil Nadu has done so much. They've opened so many medical colleges in every district and it's unfair on their students. So what would your response be to that?
See, Abdul Latif Saab, whatever your suggestions and comments are there, I can only say that please write them, jot it down and make a small petition to Government of India, Ministry of Health, as well as to the NTA, National Testing Authority, who will consider all these things, considering the whole impact for across the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Gujarat to Leh Ladakh, as well as in the far northeast.
Right.
It cannot be
But Dr. Verma, also this, point between the, rural and urban and this coaching, how much it's become, part and parcel of preparation for NEET, which makes it unfair for poor students. Is this something that we can even get around, or is this something that is the reality of what, all these competitive exams have now become?
I'm very sure government is aware of this discrepancies and this unfair impact, but it has to be brought down through a petition or an application or a simple paper to the NTA as well as Ministry of Health, Government of India. I'm sure they will be examining this.
Right. Not everybody can, go all the way to the Supreme Court with their petitions. We have another caller, Professor Surender from Telangana. Yes, go ahead, Professor.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
The Supreme Court decision is absolutely right.
Yes.
In this regard, I want to tell the National Testing Agency must be very, very careful while conducting the national level examination. In an examination, awarding grace marks is very bad for the nation and for the health of the education. That is the reason why there is an option to the students. They can take the re-examination or they can skip it. Examination is an examination, but awarding grace marks is very bad for the health of this medical education.
All right.
This is my okay.
Right. Your point is well taken, and that is the reason there was such an uproar over these grace marks being given to students. And, for our viewers also, Dr. Verma, to, explain to them that the reason these 1,500 plus students got grace marks is because at the time that they were taking the exam at their center, they realized they had got the wrong question paper. And there, I think the responsibility of the National Testing Agency is there. Imagine a student being so, worried, they're taking this all-important exam, and then to realize you've got the wrong question paper. The question paper had to be brought, the right one had to be, organized for them, and then losing out on time. So what is the answer there also? Because the Supreme Court had ruled earlier that grace marks would be given, but I think the manner in which it was given, the extent of the grace marks is what was very unfair, that pushed them up significantly, it's a competitive exam, and if we talk about the list of students and the marking, it pushed them up quite a bit and pushed out students who would have got a chance at a better college.
I'm afraid I'll be repeating same thing. Now that a decision has been taken by the Honorable
Sure.
Supreme Court,
but I'm just saying that the fact that these poor students to get the wrong paper, so this is also something the NTA must look into.
It must be looking into it. The notice was issued to NTA. Honorable Supreme Court issued a notice to NTA for all these regions.
Right, absolutely. And this is what the Congress too has been raising regarding, an inquiry into this entire matter. Prabhat calling in from MP. Go ahead with your question.
Hello, sir. I'm Prabhat from Andhra Pradesh. According to the key released on May 30, I got 509 marks, but in the result I got 474. I got 35 marks lost. So how can I appeal for recorrection of the paper so that I can get my original marks?
Sir, your doubt is very obvious, but this is not the forum to remove a doubt. The only best option is to make an appeal to National Testing Authority, which I am very sure will consider your grievance.
So he should approach the authority for getting his, previous marks counted rather than the.
As your choice. The decision will lie with the National Testing Authority.
All right, so clearly lots of, questions that students have, but hopefully most students now will be satisfied with this aspect at least. But also, Dr. Verma, there's been talk of, the paper leaking, and there's an incident in Bihar that keeps getting referred to, saying that there was a local issue there. But we heard the education minister today saying that there's been no instance of paper leak as such with this examination, and therefore this confusion should not be there.
See, sitting at Delhi, we cannot say what happened in Gujarat or Bihar, and there have been spreading sporadic news from the news channels, there's been some newspapers. So let the police and other authorities examine that and find out whether there has been any genuine leak or not, or is only a false alarm.
Right, because this doubt was there.
Definitely. How can we sitting here in Delhi can say that any leak was there or not?
All right, well, let's go across now to Jantar Mantar, where students have been protesting over this, and one of those students joining us. Let's just go across. If you'd like to make your point, I think Anuj is with us. Anuj, if you'd like to express your grievance, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Right. I don't know if we can, connect with them, but these students are sitting in protest, and also now we're going to have Parliament, convening soon. And Dr. Verma, are you hopeful that since this is such a a sensitive issue, it's an emotional issue, so many students are involved, 24 lakh students took the NEET exam, and clearly given that it's such a huge exam, you can't have these hiccups happening, these issues happening in which students are unhappy, and so do they need to sit together and find a way forward? There needs to be a committee to see how they can improve all these matters so that no student is left feeling dissatisfied or that something unfair has happened.
Gayatri ji, this is not 24 lakh students, this is 24 lakh families which are involved.
Yes.
Any young boy or young girl getting into medical college is a very big achievement for the family and for the career of the whole family. So, and the problem is grave, and that is why the NTA was founded, and NTA by and large has done a wonderful job. We cannot question, when you do such a mass scale, even these kind of irregularities, mishap should not happen. But you see the enormous volume conducting the examination for 24-25 lakh students, that too young people, 17-18 years, is not a small job. So they have done a good job, and there is always scope of improvement. So far as the Parliament question is concerned, obviously our parliamentarians are aware of the grievance of the youth of this country.
That's right. No, the Congress has been asking for a Supreme Court appointed committee to look into this entire issue, especially since there are these doubts over paper leak and, this anguish among students. Also asking for a CBI probe. Then you have the DMK asking that the exam be scrapped and it should revert to the system that was there earlier of, the states conducting the exam. So clearly a lot of issues with the NEET exam, and, and year after year we can't continue to have these sort of doubts and sort of anxiety among students.
Definitely. It's a very serious situation.
Right, and you also have the education minister, however, saying that there is no leak that has taken place, asking that people be satisfied with the Supreme Court decision on the re-examination for just those students who got the grace marks.
See, only those students got benefited by the grace marks, and grace mark, as you have told yourself earlier in the part of this show, that Supreme Court itself had allowed, and I must tell you, even UPSC does some grace mark considering the overall question and answers.
Right. We have one of the protesting students, Anuj. Anuj, are you satisfied with what the Supreme Court has said today, that those students who got the grace marks, they will have a re-examination?
जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि मतलब 1500 का री एग्जाम होगा, सिर्फ 1500 का री एग्जाम कराने से कुछ नहीं होगा, लगभग 24 लाख बच्चों का दोबारा रीनीट होना चाहिए। 1500 में तो मतलब जहाँ 30-40 हजार रैंक का अंतर आ रहा है, 1500 का रीनीट करा के तो 1500 ही रैंक जाएगी, उससे कुछ नहीं होगा। जो बिहार पुलिस ने भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करी है, 10 पकड़ा है, मतलब उन्होंने भी कहा कि उन्हें पेपर दिया गया था और मतलब फोटोकॉपी करा के पेपर दिया गया था और फिर भेजा गया था, मतलब पेपर लीक हुआ है। यूपी में भी न्यूज आई थी पेपर लीक की। तो मतलब सरकार को मतलब एनटीए को इस पे इंक्वायरी करनी चाहिए कि पेपर लीक के बारे में, और फिर देना चाहिए, और काउंसलिंग भी रोकनी चाहिए इन्हें। क्योंकि अगर काउंसलिंग होगी तो बच्चे एडमिशन ले लेंगे, उसके बाद तो फिर मुश्किल हो जाएगा रीनीट कराना।
All right, Anuj, thanks for your question. And, the Supreme Court has allowed the counselling to go forward as it was dealing with this issue. It's going to be taking up the matter again later. But, again, those reports about the paper leak, doubts in students' mind, I don't think the students, many of them want that all 24 lakhs should take the exam again, because we've been speaking to, cross-section of students. Some are very satisfied with this. So, final word from you, Dr. Verma.
Once the issue has been decided by the apex court of the country, I don't think there is any scope for any contrary opinion or any other thing. We all must salute, abide by the dictum and directions given by the Honorable Supreme Court. And there is no higher court than that. And Honorable Supreme Court, in own wisdom, after seeing the pros and cons, hearing all the parties, has passed such a detailed order. So we must abide and be happy with that.
All right. Well, this discussion will continue, and these, various opinions will continue. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Dr. Rakesh Verma, and, very patiently taking all those questions from NDTV viewers.